Good weekend, everyone. It's me again. I've been doing some really good progress on the ranked ladder so far. But in the end, I wanted to try out some other stuff, and this is a deck I'm actually really excited for. I didn't think it is that good, but after like experimenting around and like perfecting it, I think this is really the power to actually become one of the new top decks. The Actually, the funny thing is, like, the power card of this deck is actually Dao. Like, I've never seen this card being played at all, but in the Deathwish deck, it actually makes a lot of sense. Basically, what Dao does, if like the Deathwish of Dao is, it spawns two 4-point bodies, 4-point tokens, so to say, onto the board. Which is insane, because if you have like a Griffin, and Griffin lets you execute a Deathwish of a Bronze ally, like you execute the Dao Deathwish with the Griffin, you suddenly put like 17 points with Griffin on the board. The same thing happens when you use Cyclops, or for example also the Baba Gazi. So what this deck basically does, it distributes like, it has two types of bronze cards, which is like setup cards and execute cards. Setup cards are all the bronze Deathwish cards, which is Archispore, Dao, and the Rotfiend. And then you have like all the execute cards, which is Cyclops, Griffin, and the Baba Gazi to, trigger the Death Wishes and get all the value you put on the board in kind of sleeping mode. Slice that we use to access more of cards, because we actually using Nova means we need to have 26 cards in our decks. And we need to fin somehow. So Slice It gives us the ability to get to the cards we want to. The same thing with Reconnaissance. Reconnaissance lets us choose which, like out of two cards, which we want to put on the board. So this is another finning tool we have. Let's go to the gold cards. We have Woodland Spirit, especially like in combination with Roach. Puts us like 9 plus the 3 wolves it spawns. It's basically a 12-point body, which is decent on its own. Plus, it puts fog on the board. So if you can put this on in early round 1, or let's say in early round 3, you can get a decent value from it, especially like if the enemy already placed a high point unit onto the board. Otherwise, you're gonna need to wait until like you can get like the best value from fog. Then we have Bruce Ritual, which is your like round 3 Wombo combo, so to say. Let's say you have like a Griffin or a Cyclops on your hand, you play Brewers Ritual, you resurrect 2 Deathwish units, let's say an Archispore and the Dao. Best case, like you have 2 Griffins or like 1 Griffin and 1 Cyclops. You resurrect 2 Daos. Insane amount of value for round 3. Not even Spies can catch up with it. So yeah, even Dwarves are looking pale against the power of a Deathwish deck. So this is like your must-have for round 3. Either you get it by royal decree, or you keep it in your hand until it's round 3. Nova is also good. Executioner. I'm actually, like, as I said, like if you want to choose between those 2 cards, I actually would keep Brewers for round 3. Nova I often actually like put down in round 2 to either pull like gold cards from him or to pull more cards from him. So Nova is kind of a good pressuring device. Otherwise, if you can, you play it as your last card, so the enemy can't remove it. Then Royal Decree basically access another finning tool for accessing our gold cards. And for the silvers, I'm actually using Crones. Crones, I've not seen a lot of other decks using Crones, but I really like them. Crones are a finning tool for once, and they're actually also a power tool. For example, like you play against Frost Eridane, he puts like a dog, like wolf, what's it, Wildhound, whatever, Wildhound, whatever, like, the thing which lets you play Hound, Wildhound, Hound, there you go, a Wildhound Hound onto the board, and like he uses Frost, is like basically 4 points on the board. You play the Crones, and he needs to go 2 cards down, or either giving you the round like 1 card up, for example. Roach is another finning tool, and of course a tempo tool. And then we have 2 more silver cards in the deck. Shadow, another finning tool, lets you access like 1 Deathwish unit. You just can select 1 of your deck. So this is basically a good card to access your Dao. And the Sheet Roll I like to use with Rotfiend, because like enemy stacks a row, for example, because you already have a Rotfiend on the board, and he wants to play around it. So he stacks all into, like, let's say the last row, and the last card of you is like you're playing Sheet Roll, you play it into Rotfiend, and Sheet Roll executes the Deathwish of the card. It pulls card, it consumes it immediately, and you can but you can decide where you put the unit which gets consumed immediately. So if you play Rotfiend, Rotfiend gets consumed, the Deathwish will trigger. So you can choose on which row you put the Rotfiend. So this is a good executioner. And as I said, like these are like the bronze cards we have. I just quickly go over it. The difference between Griffin and Cyclops is Cyclops actually kills the unit and lets you deal the damage. So this is so Cyclops is actually good for control. You want to use the Griffins before you want to use Cyclops, and Barbagas you want to use in round 1 especially to set up like you know, carryover, because carryover in the current meta is pretty strong, especially since spies can't be created anymore from the runestones. So there we go. That's the deck, and let me show you why it's a powerhouse. So let's head into a game right now, and well, let's see. And we are playing against Dagon.
Be gone. Be gone.
I played against this since quite some time, so let's see. We have Roach, which we don't need. We have a second, like, Chrome, which we don't need. We have Dao, which is perfect. We have Griffin, which is also perfect. Sliced may be interesting. We don't need a Rotfiend. We can risk now drawing another Chrome, but like the chances are low. There we go. So now we actually have an engine as well, which is pretty good. So let's see what he's playing into. And depending on what he's playing, we may also like play Crones as our first card. Let's see. Let's see if he's playing Relics or like Weather. Could also be Deathwish, to be honest. Like, look at this. So we're playing our engine first. The longer he's like it is on the board, the better for us. Yeah, there's the big engine. Like, he can do that, of course. We are pulling Crones here, so we're actually ahead here. And then we need to play our Dao as well. Okay, so he goes into the fog. We could play Woodland Spirit, to be honest, just for the same effect, kinda. Because that way we also keep up in tempo, and we have the fog ticking on both sides now. Let's see what he still has in there. Well, that makes sense. That's a lot of tempo plus carryover, so... Good question here what we do, because if he played this one now, he probably pulls out and then he has carryover. No, you can't even dry pass on him. What could we get there? That's actually a really bad thing to have right now. We could go for a Rotfiend and kill, like, hit this row here. That's probably the best thing to do. So we play Rotfiend into this road, and look at this tempo coming right up. There we go, 12 points of tempo, it's decent. And like, let's see if we can now get a briefing, like if this gave us briefing room to actually get down our most valuable card, which is Dao, so we can execute it or not. Let's see if we can keep up, basically. If not, we can actually... That's decent. So we have 5 points down. Well, Fog will tick for free. So I guess this is a good... It's a good idea not to play Dao. There we go. We are now positive. And we're not gonna actually like execute him without losing a card. Let's see what he's getting. See, also has an Achis for. Okay. We have like, I mean, the longer we play, the better for him because he has 2 Fogs on the board. But we still also have a Dao, so there we go. I mean, the only thing we need to do is here is staying positive. That's all we need. Now let's hope he pulls out at some point. If he plays it down to the last card, we always have Zero Nova to threaten him out. It's basically our secret trump, so to say. Oh god. Don't want to have a secret trump. Our Trumpf in German. What does he do here? No, Achis for. Okay, now he's getting... That's getting dangerous. I actually could pull out here, force him to go 2 cards down now. Oh, let's do this. Let's force him 2 cards down. Because the longer we play into this, the better for him. So either he wins this now, or like with 2 cards down, which is a problem for him, or he gives us the round with 1 card down, which is also a problem for him. So it doesn't look good either way. He still has the carryover, which we don't have, which is an advantage, but like having 1 card extra is the better advantage. So let's see. I guess letting me win the round here is the better option because of the carryover, because I need to play a card anyway. But, well, I mean, this is the favorite option for me, so I'm fine with that. And we have Brewers to actually execute like some good combos, especially with Slice It, because we have 1 Griffin in the graveyard and 1 in the deck, so we can access it with Slice It, giving us good power. And we still have the leader, so let's see when we execute the leader actually. Cyclo, like, this is okay. I'm really not a fan of Rotfind. I have it in the deck basically because I need to fill up 26 cards, and it's a good card for sheet roll, but I don't like to play it, so to say. I mean, in this case, I guess I want to play Cyclops so I can access with Slice It later. There you go. And the first card we are playing here is Brewers. With Brewers we get the Dao and the Archespore back onto... Actually, let me think. With a Rodfiend and Dao... I was just thinking of a good Slicer target, but everything's fine actually. 2 Slicers, Cyclops... Do we need a Cyclops actually? Yeah, it's okay. Because we can get 1 with Griffin, everything's fine. Let's take this as it is. Let's pull Brewers. I want to get this one and the Archespore. I don't care where we put him down actually. So that's 14 points already, that's pretty decent. I mean, he does the same thing obviously. He's playing 2 Archespore, so he's playing for like the engine. Which is okay, I guess. I pull the Griffin now. And I'm going for tempo with the Dao, so 20 points ahead. Even with like 2 engines on the board, like that's... I'm not sure if he can keep that up. I guess my next play is Willock. If you can get some like Mandrake or whatever. That's a shame. Actually, let me just think if we get a good decent Slicer target. If it's Cyclops in the hand, the only thing is Rodfiend, I guess. I don't want to get a Rodfiend out already. So let's see what Reconnaissance will give us. Baba Gazi. Don't want to execute. Oops, what's going on? I don't want to execute it. So let's pull out Archespore. Another engine is never a bad idea. So let's see. We're still 14 points ahead, and we haven't pulled out Nova. Okay, he's going for Spy. I guess that's understandable. Oh, he's looking for a decent Rodfiend setup. I don't know. Let's. I'm looking for.
You're gone.
Well, this could give us a Rodfiend, another one. But I already get a Rodfiend for this. This gives us... this could be interesting. This is basically 12 damage. This is also, I mean, this is also 12 damage. But this way we don't trigger the Deathwish. So let's do it like this. There we go. That was pretty nice, actually. Gave us some decent tempo right there. I mean, we're now 1 card. Actually, yeah, we're 1 card down. And now I'm gonna execute the Golem, I guess. Because the Rodfiend won't give us a decent value, because it doesn't row stack. His Rodfiend, on the other hand, will give him decent value, so... I'll just hope that this will, you know, spawn up. I think he will be able to execute the Dao, so what I'm going... Oh, I actually can't kill him. That's a shame. I would need to execute something else, like this one, to kill his Dao, but that's like value-wise, it's a shit. So I'm playing like I'm used to be, like I used to. Let's just damage him. So if he uses Cyclops, he won't deal a lot of damage to me. 52 points ahead is still something to reckon with, so let's see if he can make that. He probably still execute the Dao. Let's see. There we go. However, he will only do 1 damage, so. And now we're actually pulling. Actually, do we have another? Actually, we have another Dao in there. Look at this. But this is, like, weather-wise, the better option. Let's put it in there, just to make him afraid, so to say. And now we pull Sirinova. I don't know if he has Sirinova as well in there. He maybe. But if he has Sirinova in there, like, I have one already. So there's Sirinova. Let's pull her on the board. 50. Well, how much? 51 advantage? Yeah. He forfeits, he knows he can't win this. This is basically the pure value play of this deck. And also you just see like why you actually use the Whispering Willow instead of Dagon. Because it can pull you like insane amount of value while Dagon just puts better on the board. So always use Whispering Willow instead of Dagon if you play this deck. So what do you think about it? Like, would you have expected Deathwish making a return in this ranked season? I certainly didn't. But hey, leave me a comment down and let me hear what you think. And if this is your first time here, I'd love you to subscribe to the channel. Let's get better players together. And see you in game.